Okay, let's fly by the seat of my pants here right now, and let's talk about slides. Okay, now slides are actually pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of focusing a little bit and making sure you know where they want to go. And this is why in the script I made sure that you outlined what you wanted to see, when, and where. Okay, so let's just talk about putting in a new one. Okay, so let's say, okay, I did a little work on this. Let's see, there's the start, and then I'm going to take away that tell the flight story, but I still want the scene to be set up for Italy. And then I'm going to put a pause in here, and I'm going to put in a pause. I want to do a picture. Let's say I'm going to call it outside Vatican. Okay, so I know that I want to put a picture of me being outside the Vatican there, or something like that. Okay, so here's what you got to do. You have to first off do file, add track, and add a new Starry Night track. Okay, now I'm going to call this, I can just double click and it'll pop up. I'm going to call this Duomo because that's going to be the first one I'm going to be doing. I'm going to call it Duomo. And then I'm going to double click and add, check this out, slide, S-L-I-D-E. The E is capitalized and underlined because that is the shortcut. I can just hit E and up pops a slide specification. Okay, so I want to put a picture in. So I'm going to click slide. And I'm going to go to slides and go to Italy slides, and I'm going to pick, let's do a good one. Let's do the Duomo, which is right here. Okay, Florence Duomo. Okay, and double click. Now what I can do as well is I can hit live. Now the great part about live, let me minimize this, go away. The live part shows you in RenderBox preview where that picture is going to show up. And typically it's right at the bottom in the middle, in the north or south. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to click live, and then you can change these things. Now, most in particular, you want to change the position. Okay, so now that I have it on live, now I get this little doohickey that allows me to change. Now I like to go with the altitude and azimuth here, alt as. And the altitude is how high. So take a look at this. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you. Okay. So if you take a look there, you can see how the altitude is higher. And if I went all the way to 90 degrees, it would be perfectly at the top of the dome. 45 degrees would be about halfway down, okay? And 0 would be right on the horizon. Now, we can change this when we actually put it on the dome, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to do as good of a job as you can. Now, azimuth changes the direction. Now, if I move left, it kind of moves toward the right, around in a circle around the dome, okay? So this is basically, now if you think about it as 360 degrees, 0 would be north, 0, put that on live, 0 would be north, 45 is actually over here a little bit, okay, 180 would be behind you, 270 is off to the east, and then 360 or 0 is right there in front of you. Okay. Next one here is the size. Okay. If you want it to be bigger or smaller, honestly, you don't need them to be super big. Once they get super big, like, 70s, they tend to warp and not look good. So just, you want to use the space in the dome, but you don't want to do you don't want it to be so big that it distorts. And we can change that when we actually get into the dome, but getting this set up is a really good rough draft, okay? So I'm going to put that there. And let's say, well, typically when I put up a slide, I'm going to pause and talk about it. So I'm going to hit pause. And my next picture is going to be, I don't know, let's say it's going to be Bruno. Okay. So I'm going to put a little pause there that says Bruno. Okay. Now, when I start to talk about Bruno, I need the Duomo picture to go away. So here's what I do. I double click on the Duomo track and I click kill. Okay. Where'd it go? Slide kill. Where'd you go? There. S kill. Slide kill. K for short. So I can hit K or click on that. And typically what you want to do is have just this track's slide kill or die. And I usually do like a 2-second. And I hit OK. And so what that does is it allows it to go away slowly. To test that, I right-click on S-Kill, and I click this little bold part up here, which just plays the command, and watch over there in the corner what happens. It fades away. Okay, so now we want to put up another picture right after that. So I do File, Add Track, Starry Night, and I'm going to call this Bruno. Okay. And after the slide kill is when I'm going to put in this slide. So I double click on the Bruno track. I know it seems like you can just sort of do one track the whole time. Trust me, I've tried it. It messes things up. Okay. I promise you this is easier. Okay. So I click slide. I'm going to go live because I want to see it. I'm going to pick my slide. And let's see, I said Bruno, right? So I'm going to put Giordano Bruno. That's a pretty good picture of him. Okay. And it should be live. Sometimes you can't see it right away, so maybe if you bump up the size or change. Oh, there he is. Altitude. Oh, look at that. He is sideways. That's no good. So if you need to change that, you go to roll. Okay. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna say 90 degrees. Oh, that's upside down. So I gotta go 270 degrees. Oh, there we go. So my roll, I want him to be a bit bigger. And I want, oh, looks like his bottom got cut off. So I'm going to put him right there. Okay. And there's my Giordano Bruno. Okay. And there you go. I'm going to hit OK. All right. And then let's see. Let's say the next thing is, actually, you know what? I think that's been enough. You then want to do a pause for whatever the next slide is. So I'm just going to type next slide. Okay. And then in here, I'm going to put the slide kill. I'm going to make that a 2-second slide kill, just this track slide. Hit OK. And if you want to sort of test to see where these things are and how they look, here's what I would do. First of all, you want to arrange your desktop so that you can sort of see this stuff a little better. Okay. There we go. And let's go back to the beginning. Okay. And then you can just right click, click. Okay, it's a black scene. And then up comes Italy. And then up comes the Duomo. There it is. Right click, left click. Right click, left click. Oh, there's Bruno. Oh, you know what? He came up pretty fast. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to insert some time here, and there's a little button next to the delete button which is insert, and I'm just going to insert 2 seconds so that I can go into Bruno's picture and make his transition time 2 seconds so that he'll take 2 seconds to go in there. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Insert 2 seconds. Go to Duomo, make that transition time 2 seconds. Now I'm doing the color and opacity 2 seconds. That way it fades in, and hit OK. All right, so let's try this from the very beginning. Remember, you want to hit all the way back. Let's play it. OK. So I'm loading up the show. It's a black screen. OK, now I've got my Italy scene. Outside the Vatican. I got to change that now. To talking about this slide, which is outside the Duomo. Okay, talking. Now Bruno. Well, let me talk a little bit about this statue I found. And this statue is of Giordano Bruno. Here it comes. And then my next slide, Giordano Bruno goes away. Stop. Okay? Okay, so with that, all I really want you to do is put in about 5 slides as of right now, because we're going to learn a little bit more about using the space in the next video. But for that, that is just the very basics, just throwing a slide in there, a single slide in there at one time. Okay? So don't forget to put the pauses in between, put the slide in separate tracks, and don't forget to do the kill slide after the pause for the next slide. Okay? With that, happy ATM4ing. I don't know. Anyway, good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.